Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from RealityArtPod, here to rank the Big Brother 27 players based on how I feel they're doing in the game as of the end of Week 9's Thursday night eviction episode. Before I dive in, I put a link to my BB27 playlist for all my recaps and rankings. If you like the content, consider liking, subscribing, and using my link to try Paramount Plus for free. This week saw a stressful episode at the White Locust, where Rachel was eliminated and Lauren won HOH, nominating Morgan, Will, and Ashley. When Morgan won the veto, Keanu went up in her place, but he saved himself in the blockbuster, and Will was evicted over Ashley by a vote of 3 to 2. Firstly, we lost Rachel at the White Locust in ninth place. Last week I had her in fourth. I originally ranked the Mystery House guest 12th, feeling like the one returning player would have a very difficult road for them, and boy was it difficult. I was impressed with Rachel's run, with her getting up to second in rankings at the time of Adrian's eviction. While I feel like her game was at its peak when she first formed that final two with Ava, over time that alliance proved to be worthless, with Ava and this twist ultimately being her demise. I wish this wasn't a sole returnee season, as the fact that I never felt good enough about her game to put her in number one, despite her good standing at times, was based on her just having such an uphill battle to fight all the time. Had she stayed, it would have been a fight, but we wanted to see her fight it. And we lost Will, who preseason I ranked 8th, and he ends up here in 8th place, which I'm not happy about given that I ranked him number 1 coming into the month of mayhem. He was in such a good spot before the White Locust, well liked with allies, but losing Rachel was a big hit to his game, as their alliance becomes sitting ducks, especially with Lauren in power, who he doesn't talk to. He didn't campaign that much and accepted his fate, which I respect because Ashley has a chance to win the game, and had he stayed, he would have been competing in these physical challenges with an injury, all for what? To be taken out at Final 4 or 3? I'd rather be chilling with Rachel in the jury house. So let's get to these rankings, and there's a lot of shakeups here because White Locust changed everything. In 8th, last place, I have Tyler Crispin. As the manager of White Locust, he's running the establishment into the ground. Guests do not enjoy their stay. This place is a dump, and the owner is literally a terrorist. In 7th, I have Lauren, who last week was 6th, her second HOH, which she won against only a few competitors. She has a plan to target Morgan and Keanu. Socially, she doesn't do much this week besides hang out with Vince and continue to be socially awkward and dissociative. There's so much wasted potential here, which irks me. The way that she threw the veto, which she probably would have won, is crazy. She could have had both Morgan and Keanu on the block on Thursday, and one of them would have gone home. But she throws it, and neither of her targets go home, so now she can't play an HOH. She has Morgan, Keanu, and Ashley, half the house, and a formidable group coming right for her. She has Vince still, but he's a weenie, and she has a final 3 with Kelly and Ava, but out of the 3, Lauren has no respect from the jury. It's a historic low, last place for Lauren, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's evicted this week. In 6th, I have Ava, who last week was 5th. Firstly, she totally overreacted to Rachel pulling her arm, and that turned into her talking crap about Rachel for a good part of the week to make herself feel better about not picking Rachel. She again spends so much time in bed, lazy, and is just not present, and not able to save her ally Will, despite ending up voting to keep him. Her game got worse with both Rachel and Will's evictions, two players who never would have come for her. With this endgame, it's going to be all about competitions. I struggle to see Ava making it to the end right now. Her alliance is Lauren and Kelly, and I guess they could win competitions, but I don't feel like Ava's squatted up with the winning team. They just voted Will out, who's beloved. These people would vote Ava out in a heartbeat if they feel she's getting too close to the final 2. In 5th, I have Kelly, who last week was 9th. This is the highest up I can put Kelly, but she keeps a pretty low profile this week. Do I think she's playing a good game? No. Do I think she could win a jury vote? Right now, no. But she has the girls' alliance and her tight bond with Keanu, someone who's consistently winning competitions and could greatly benefit her over the other two in her alliance. And of the 3 girls, she could not only win competitions, but she would be down to do some crazy stuff that actually could give her a chance to win in a season where all of these players aren't that great. Now, this top 4, this was a group that came together toward the end of the week. Not an alliance, but a grouping. And if this 4 were to work together, they could very well be the final 4 and make for a not so bad endgame. I struggle to put them in order. They all have major strengths and major weaknesses. In 4th, I have Keanu, who was 8th. I'll admit, this week was by far Keanu's best round of gameplay. He had been wanting Rachel out for a few weeks, but didn't want to have a hand in it, and he kind of got his wish. Rachel's gone, and Rachel's likely a jury vote for him and a champion for him on the jury roundtable against, I'd say, 4 or 5 of these people. Lauren nominates Keanu as the target, and he has a very valid point that if they ruin Lauren's HOH, she would have 2 failed HOHs. He gets Ashley on his side. He still kind of has Vince, maybe Morgan because they voted together. He still has Kelly, and he's so good in competitions, especially with Blockbuster, sticking around for another round. But he almost went home this week, and if they can get him on the block for a vote, it would be tough for him to stay. But his star is somehow rising. In 3rd, I have Vince, who last week was 7th. Lauren wins HOH, so of course he's safe and has an easy week. But was he really playing the game? He's just being torn left and and right between Morgan and Lauren, and in the end, he gets his vote swayed by Morgan to vote Will out. I don't get how Ashley being there is better for Vince's game. With all that said, when he's talking on the show about Lauren and Morgan both being good for his game, he's right. He has loyal allies. I struggle to see him winning a jury vote against these other players on top. He's seen as a weenie who gets pushed around, and I actually think this cheat mance has to negatively affect the jury's opinion of him. In second, I have Ashley, who was third last week. Losing Rachel wasn't good for her, but I think she had the right strategy in White Locust, laying low, hoping not to be picked, and when Lauren wins HOH, she's nominated, understandably. The lawyer finally popped out. We've never seen Ashley have to campaign for her life. She had strong points, stuck to them, talked to the right people, and locked up the votes she needed to stay. Even campaigning against Will, who she has love for. She worked to flip the votes off herself, which is really hard to do. She's now got Keanu and Morgan on her side, shields to help her survive a vote. Her main allies are gone, so I'm worried that she won't be able to survive long, but if Ashley makes it to final two, and she reveals she's a lawyer, she wins the game. And in first, I have Morgan, who last week was second. Morgan, another player that went through it in the White Locust. She lost the battle against Lauren for Vince's pick, and then Lauren wins the HOH. Seriously the worst person to win for Morgan. And she goes up on the block as a target. Credit to Morgan for winning another veto, saving herself in clutch position. I'm very confident in her abilities coming into this endgame. She also put in work to get Vince back to preferring her over Lauren, and in the end, she convinced Vince to vote to keep Ashley, who is going against Lauren, which is against Vince's best interest and greatly helps Morgan. I feel she has the skills and competitions, socially and strategically, to get through this endgame. Her next move should be taking out Lauren, either directly or indirectly, which would put her even closer to a win. And like Ashley, she has a big reveal for the final two. So those are my rankings for week 9. I'm sure they're different from yours. Let me know in the comments what your rankings are. I read and respond to every comment. If you like the video, consider liking and subscribing. I'll be back next week to recap Big Brother and rank the players. Until then, you know where to find me. Bye.